Hey polish fans, it's Caroline again and welcome to another video here at Wild Moon Lacquer. In today's video I have a really big order from a new to me brand. This is Lacquer 22. This will be a first impressions and an unboxing as well as swatching. That part I still need to decide if I'm going to do in video or if I'm going to fast forward through it because we have a lot to go over. So let's dig in. So like I said, this is a new to me brand called Lacquer 22. I found them, again, probably through Instagram. I feel like I'm going to be saying that for quite a lot of these brands. And the reason I ended up getting as many as I ended up with is they were having a sale, a really good sale, I think 50% off. So I did grab quite a few. There are 10 polishes to look at, and as you can see, they come packaged in a cardboard box. So let's see what we have. So the first one is a blue hollow called Winter's Breath. And these don't say the bottle size on them, but I want to say these are probably like 12 or 13 mLs. And look at that blue hollow. That is gorgeous. Next up, so we have another hollow. This is meant to be, and there you go. So this one does say how big the bottles are. Those are 12 ml. And this one is like somewhere between a khaki and a latte hollow. Again, the linear flare on this is really incredible. I got quite a lot of their hollows, spoiler, because they looked really amazing online. The next one is a pink hollow. This is Peony Party. Again, a beautiful linear flare on this. And yeah, when I purchased these, they were having a 50% off sale. So I felt pretty good about going in and just buying a few more than I would have normally. Oftentimes when I'm buying from a brand new company, I try to stick to about 3 or 4 polishes. I think for Peculiar Polish, I did go with about 6. So, you know, it varies, but the next one is It's Freakin' Bats. And this one is a topper. I was going to say that I thought that this was black shards, but I'm seeing something else in there. See those bronzy little pieces? We'll have to see how that swatches, but I think that that is a black flake topper, so that was It's Freakin' Bats. Next up is another linear hollow, this time in an amber color called Solar Flare. This is going to be a beautiful one for fall. Next up is another fall polish in a hollow. This is Brownstone. So this is more of a red leaning hollow. Beautiful color. Next up is another topper. This one is called Hex. These are gunmetal glitters. Thought that that one would be a neat one to add to the collection. Next up is another hollow, this time in more of a red leaning fuchsia or berry. This is Poison Berry. Again, with that beautiful linear flare. Next up is another hollow, this time in a purple. This one is called Venus. I think this is one that I kept seeing advertised on their page. The swatches looked amazing. And then last but not least, we have one of their creams. This one is called Undead. So I thought this was a beautiful color. This kind of falls into the same range of like a dusty gray leaning purple that I call Chewed Up Grape Bubblegum, although I would say this is maybe a pinch grayer leaning than some of those other shades that I described that way. But yeah, wanted to try one of their creams as well. All right, so here we have all 10 polishes. Let's see, these are our 2 toppers. We'll put those at the end. So because we have so many to swatch this time, I think I'm going to forego putting some of these over a color. And then I guess if you guys want to see any of them over other colors, let me know in the comments and I'll see what I can do as far as like maybe a little short or a little post on Instagram. So a little bit that I do know about the brand, they do come from Texas. I actually don't know if these are hand mixed indies or if they are more along the lines of like a factory mixed boutique brand. That part I don't know, but I was really impressed with their website. It was easy to navigate. They had a lot of different options for how to search for polishes by finish, color, etc. And they did have a few more toppers that I really thought were interesting as well. But as you can see, I just went with those two for the time being. It was really the hollows that definitely caught my attention. It was $60 all in all. So yeah, I think they were about $6 a piece at half price, which is fantastic. All right, let's go ahead and swatch the first one. This is a light blue called Winter's Breath. All right, so here is one coat of Winter's Breath. So yeah, with a hollow formulation like this, when they are semi-sheer like this, I think they would work nicely over other colors. So again, just let me know if you wanted to see any of these over a cream, whether matching or contrasting. And then while we're waiting for that first coat to dry, let's go ahead and take a look at the brush. It looks like they are running a flat wide brush with a rounded edge, which is fantastic. This is one of my preferred brush styles. And here's a second coat. So there's that beautiful icy blue. I would say this is going to be somewhere between a 2 and 3 coater. Just depends on your nail length and application. I think shorter nails would be just fine in 2 coats, but as you can see, it does have that squish factor to it as well. So if you have longer nails or a very prominent free edge, you might need a 3rd coat for full opacity. But yeah, loving that color so far. That has beautiful flair to it. So that first one was Winter's Breath. Next up is Meant to Be. This is that sort of a latte, almost khaki leaning hollow. There's also, I want to say, like a brown shimmer in it. So here's one coat. So this one is a little bit outside my wheelhouse, but the swatches of this were stunning. So with this formula, this is another that would go over another color quite easily because it does have that squish factor. So far the formulas have all been really easy to work with. Not too thick, not too thin. So here is a second coat. Ooh, yeah, I'm liking how this is building up. It's definitely still more of a neutral shade, but it has that pinch of like a light coffee to it, which I thought would be pretty unusual in my collection because I don't think I have anything along the lines of this color yet. And this is another one that had exquisite hollow in the swatches. So I would say that this one, Meant to Be, is also somewhere between a 2 and 3 coater. Again, just depends on your nail length, your application, and how opaque you want to get your polish. I'm hoping I enjoy this one on me. I'm thinking that because it does have that almost like cool tone taupiness to it, I might actually like it on. But this one was sort of a, well, it's on sale purchase. So if it's not something that ends up working on my skin tone, I won't feel too badly about it. But yeah, that is beautiful. And you can start to see that hollow flare coming out more to play when it dries. So that one was Meant to Be. Next up is the Amber Hollow. This one is Solar Flare. So this one has a beautiful like yellow leaning orange or amber quality to it. And I would say that this one isn't the same formulation, I feel, as the other linear hollows. So here's our first coat. Ooh, my goodness. Yeah, I would definitely say amber is the perfect description for this. It is a bit orange, but with that yellow tone to it. And that definitely feels like a different formulation. It is a little bit stickier than the other two. Those were very smooth formulas. Not that this was super hard to work with, it just has a slightly different formulation in the feel of it. But again, love that color. Wow. And here is a second coat. Yeah, this color is going to be amazing to wear in the fall. I feel like it's pretty unique again to my collection. Yeah, wow. Very, very happy with that one. So far anyways, similarly to in the bottle, I don't feel like this is going to be perhaps as straight up linear flare as the other two, but I don't mind that. It's got a very glowing look to it. That is just beautiful. And I will let those dry down and then I'll top coat everything and we'll take a final look at them at the end. But that one was Solar Flare. And then next up is Brownstone. This is that brown leaning red with hollow. Love this tone as well. So here's our first coat. And I would say this has a similar formulation as Solar Flare, so a slightly bit of a more sticky is what keeps coming to mind, and that's not exactly what I mean, but it's got a different viscosity than the first two. But again, I am loving this color, you guys. Oh, that is gorgeous. It's got this warm, almost like cinnamony quality to it that I just adore. And here is a second coat. Yeah, this color, you guys, is breathtaking. I can't even find words for it. I adore it. Wow. It is exquisite. I think that is going to be a favorite from the haul. So that one was Brownstone. Now we're getting into our pinks. The first one is Peony Party. This is our lighter shade of pink in a hollow. And here's our first coat. So this is back to the same formulation as the first two hollows. And rather nicely pigmented for a single coat. Definitely going to need a second for full opacity, but loving the tone of that rosy pink. And here's a second coat. This tone of pink is lovely. It's a beautiful mid-tone rosy pink, and I can already tell the hollow on this is going to be dazzling. Look at that. Wow. That actually, I might be speaking too soon, but that might be another favorite from the haul. So that one was Peony Party. Now our darker shade of pink, this is Poisonberry. So from the other ones that we've swatched so far, my guess is this will be somewhere along the lines of the other straight up hollows. So here's our first coat. Oh, actually, you know what? This feels a little bit different than our straight up hollows, but not quite as viscous as the other two, what I was calling sticky formulas. Again, when I say sticky, they weren't necessarily hard to work with. They just felt different than the thinner formulas of the hollows. That might have something to do with maybe how pigmented it is, but a beautiful shade of berry. And here is a second coat. Yeah, this one is definitely pretty richly pigmented. This is gorgeous. Wow. Look at that red flash that you're seeing. Holy moly. So that one was Poisonberry. And then our last hollow is a purple called Venus. Like I mentioned at the beginning, this is one that I kept seeing advertised on their Instagram page, so I definitely wanted to grab this one. Not that I need another purple hollow, but you know. So here's our first coat of Venus. And this is, I would say, closer to the other formulations of the straight up hollows. A little bit of a thin formula. Beautiful mid-tone sort of grapey purple. And here is a second coat of Venus. Yeah, this purple is incredible. Of course, as a purple fan, I guess that's not too surprising that I like it. But yeah, you can definitely tell a difference in formulation in how quickly you see the hollow. Because, I mean, that's a second coat that I just applied, and you can already see the hollow very similarly to that shade of pink Peony Party. And I feel like the blue was the same way, where it got a little bit different, even though the formulation felt the same, was with Meant to Be. And then, of course, the juicier tones with these two, Solar Flare, Brownstone, and Poisonberry. Those had a more viscous, thicker formula. But yeah, that purple is utterly gorgeous. Very glad I grabbed that one. So that again was Venus. And then onto their cream. The one that I picked was Undead. Again, I love this type of a tone of this purpley gray. So really happy to try this one out. I hope I love it. So here is our first coat. Ooh, got a little bit too much on my brush here, but this is nicely pigmented. Wow. I would say this has very, very high potential as a one coater. Look at that. Wow. Very impressive. Easy to work with formula on that one as well. The cream was pigmented but not too thick, not gloopy at all. That is gorgeous. Not too surprising that I like that one. There was actually a few of the creams that I was contemplating getting, but I ended up going for that one. Yeah, that is beautiful. So the cream of my haul was Undead. All right, so for our toppers, I have picked out a few cream colors to try these over. The first one is Hex. This one is that hexagonal shaped topper in different sizes and shapes of gunmetal glitter. So this I thought would be nice and different from a lot of the other glitter toppers that I already have. So I decided I'd try this over 2 different colors. I had 3 nails left on my little nail wheel. So we're going to try this one over a green from Orly, that is Wild Willow, and then half over a yellow that we'll share with the black topper. And this one is Claim to Fame. Or maybe I'll try it over all 3 and sort of split it down the middle. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Because actually now I want to see it over the pink and I want to see the black over the green. So the pink that we're going to try is String of Hearts, also from Orly. All right, so this is where it gets interesting. Since we're splitting the nail, we are going to try it on 1/2. Let's do that. Ooh. Yeah, I like it. Look at that. So a very different look than a solid black glitter. Not quite as bright as a silver glitter, not quite as dark as a black glitter. That looks really nice. Let's try it over, what was that, Claim to Fame? Ooh, I like that one too. That looks good. Let's see it over String of Hearts. Now, I will say formulation-wise on these, there is, I don't know really how to describe it. It's not like the base is thick or anything, but you do get a lot of the base out with a lot of the glitter, if that makes sense. Like you almost need to brush off a little bit more of the polish than you might normally. But that looks really nice over all 3 colors. As you can see, you got plenty of the topper out in one coat. Yeah, that should be really nice. I can foresee myself wearing this one quite a lot in the fall and winter season. So that topper was Hex. Then we're going to try the other topper. It's freaking Bats over the 3 colors as well. This is the one that I think is a black flaky topper, but as you're seeing in the bottle, it's almost like there's a bronze something or other going on, and I can't quite tell what that is. So let's go ahead and see it over Wild Willow. And oh my goodness, this is pretty dense. So there we go. I'm just trying to spread out the polish I already got. So there on 1/2 is the black speckled flaky polish. And then half over Claim to Fame. Yeah, this is definitely pretty dense. I would say I might need to almost tone it down a little bit, or just, it might be hard because I'm trying to do it over half of a nail instead of a full nail like you would probably be doing on a mani. But there's half of Hex and then half of It's Freaking Bats. And then we're going to try it over Claim to Fame. For this one, I'm going to try to get off as much as I can without going like completely dry brushing. So here we go. I think I went a little too much. Put a little bit more in the brush. Ooh, I do love this one over String of Hearts. That is gorgeous. Very moody. I love it. So there we have half of It's Freaking Bats, and that half is Hex. Again, half It's Freaking Bats, half Hex. And same thing over Wild Willow. There's It's Freaking Bats, and there is Hex. So hopefully you can see the light catches more on the gunmetal color glitter, almost like a silver, but you still get the dark tone on the polish. Yeah, loving that flaky topper. I had been eyeing a black flaky topper from a number of different brands, so I was happy to get this for about $6. So that one was It's Freaking Bats. All right, so here's everybody all freshly top coated. We have Winter's Breath, our light blue. Meant to Be, this is our khaki sort of coffee color. Solar Flare, which is our amazing amber shade. Then we have Brownstone, which is a beautiful red leaning brown. Peony Party, which is our gorgeous pink hollow. Poisonberry, which is our berry shade with a very rich pigmentation. Venus in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. That is our beautiful purple. And then our 1 Coat Wonder Cream is Undead. And then our toppers in Hex and It's Freaking Bats, Half Over Wild Willow, Over Claim to Fame, and String of Hearts. And there we have it. So that was my first haul, first impressions of the new to me brand Lacquer 22. Let me know what your favorites were down below. Have you discovered the brand before? If you've already discovered the brand, let me know your favorites down below. I would say overall, I was very impressed with the company. Impressed with, of course, the price point, being able to get them for such a great deal. And formulation-wise, everything was nice and easy to work with. The toppers definitely didn't skimp on the glitters that were in there. I know some toppers, it seems like it's just so sparse in there that you're getting mostly the clear base. So these were really nice. I can definitely see myself getting good use out of both of those for sure. Love the cream. Again, very impressed that that was just a 1 coat formula and it was not difficult to work with either. And again, I mean, these hollows are amazing. If I had to pick a favorite, I'm still sticking with the ones that I was most impressed with when we swatched them, and that has to be Solar Flare, Brownstone, and possibly a toss-up between Peony Party and the other 2 hollows here, Poisonberry and Venus. I don't know that I could pick between those 3, but those 2 are some of my favorites of this haul. Those 2 just speak to me on a very deep level. I absolutely love those. Cannot wait to wear those in the fall. So yeah, overall, I would say, especially given the sales price, I mean, I can't complain at all. Very nice bottles. I'm loving the brushes. They were packed very, very well, especially again for that price point, and they shipped very fast as well. So I would say for this company, it's definitely one that I would like to keep tabs on, at least to check in and see what they release now and then. Because yeah, they definitely know their way around their formulations. Their hollows are fantastic. Again, that 1 coat cream was chef's kiss. So again, overall, happy, just happy with the purchase. Cannot wait to wear these. Again, those 2 for the fall. I might even have to put the pink and the purple one on my spring rack because those are beautiful shades for the season. And then again, those toppers are going to be coming out for my fall rack as well. So as always, thank you so much for hanging out with me and looking at beautiful polish. Hopefully you had a good time. If you're new, think about hitting that little subscribe button down below. That way you don't miss out on any of my new videos, and I will see you in that next one.